Hey everyone, welcome back. We all work hard for our money. So today we're going to dive deep into how to really make those savings work harder in 2025.
Mm,
And I don't know about you, but honestly, taxes can just feel, well, overwhelming, right? Like where do you even begin?
right. Yeah, it can feel like a whole different language sometimes.
Exactly. So we're here to break it all down, cut through the complexity, and highlight what's really important for you to know about the 2025 tax landscape.
Mm.
So let's jump right in. First up, the IRS has adjusted those tax brackets for 2025 to account for inflation.
hmm
So what does this actually mean for the average person who's just, trying to save a little bit here and there?
Well, inflation, it kind of eats away at your money, right? So you might
Oh,
have to earn even more just to stay afloat. These bracket adjustments, they're about 2.8% on average. They help prevent what we call bracket creep. So that's where you end up paying a higher tax rate just because your income went up, even if you're not actually better off.
right. So you're not actually making more, but you're getting taxed as if you are. Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like a built-in protection against, those sneaky tax hikes
Exactly.
because of inflation. Okay, I like that. All right, so speaking of keeping more of our own money, we can't forget about the standard deduction.
Yes.
So it's
Right.
basically, a set amount that you can subtract from your income before you even start calculating,
Yeah.
what you owe.
Exactly.
And the good news is it's going up in 2025. Single filers, you're looking at $15,000.
Yeah.
Joint filers, $30,000. And heads of household, $22,500. That's a decent chunk of change, right? Shielded right from taxes.
It is. Especially for people who aren't itemizing, for things like mortgage interest or charitable donations, the standard deduction can really simplify things.
Yeah, keep it nice and straightforward. Okay, so now for something that always sounds a little bit scary to me, the alternative minimum tax, or AMT.
Right.
Should the average person be worried about this?
Well, the AMT is really designed for those high income earners. Even if they have a lot of deductions, it makes sure they're still paying a certain amount. But for most people, it's not something to stress about. The exemption amounts are pretty generous, $88,100 for single filers and $137,000 for those filing jointly.
Okay, so unless you're bringing in, some serious cash, you're probably in the clear. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
But even with, these adjustments and these deductions, we're still, giving a good portion of our income to Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
So what can we actually do to actively, reduce that tax burden and make our savings work even harder?
That's where those tax credits come into play. Unlike deductions, which lower your taxable income, tax credits actually reduce the amount of tax that you owe. It's like getting a dollar for dollar discount on your tax bill.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
What kind of credits are we talking about? Like what could be beneficial for, the everyday person?
One that can be a big help for working families is the Earned Income Tax Credit, or the EITC. And depending on your income and your family size, you could actually be eligible for a credit up to $8,046 in 2025.
Wow, that's not nothing.
No, it's not.
That could make a big difference.
Absolutely. And then you've got the Child Tax Credit, which offers up to $2,000 per qualifying child. And these are just two examples. There are others out there too, like the Child Independent Care Credit and the American Opportunity Tax Credit. That might be relevant depending on your situation.
Okay, so it sounds like it really pays to do your research and see what you might qualify for.
Absolutely. Understanding these credits can be a really powerful way to keep more money in your pocket and, boost those savings.
Awesome. So now let's move beyond just, reducing our tax bill. Let's talk about actual saving strategies. So what are some smart moves that the average person can make to grow their nest egg?
Well, one of the most fundamental strategies, and often overlooked, is simply creating a budget. It doesn't have to be super complicated, but having a clear picture of your income and your expenses really lets you see where your money's going and identify those areas where you could potentially save more.
Right. It's like that saying, you can't manage what you don't measure. So a budget's like shining a light on your spending habits
Yeah,
so you can make conscious choices.
exactly. And once you've got that budget in place, and hopefully freed up some extra cash flow, a smart next step is to prioritize building that emergency fund.
Yes. Having that financial safety net can just give you so much peace of mind and prevent you from having to rely on, high interest credit cards or loans if those unexpected expenses come up.
Exactly. Aim for at least 3 to 6 months worth of essential living expenses, tucked away in a safe and easily accessible account. That way, if you face a job loss or a medical emergency or even, car repair, you've got that cushion to fall back on.
Yeah, it's like having insurance for those unexpected events in life. And speaking of insurance, what about those retirement contributions? It seems like, everyone talks about the importance of saving for retirement, but it can feel so overwhelming.
It's true, retirement planning can seem daunting, but it really doesn't have to be. Start by understanding the basics of those tax-advantaged accounts, like 401ks and IRAs. These accounts allow your money to grow tax-deferred, meaning you don't pay taxes on those earnings until you withdraw them in retirement.
Ah, okay, so you're kind of getting a tax break now and letting your money grow more freely over time.
Exactly. And if your employer offers a 401k match, definitely take advantage of it. It's essentially free money that can really boost your retirement
Oh
savings.
yeah, that's like getting a bonus just for saving for your future.
Yeah.
I like that. So speaking of boosting savings, what are some other ways that people can, you know, maximize their returns?
Well, for those who are comfortable with a little more risk and have a longer time horizon, investing in the stock market can be a really powerful way to grow your wealth over time. Of course, it's important to do your research and understand the risks involved, but historically, the stock market has provided higher returns than those more conservative investments,
Right.
like bonds or savings accounts.
Okay, so we've got our emergency fund in place.
Yeah.
We're contributing to those retirement accounts, maybe even, dipping our toes in the stock market. What other smart saving strategies should be on our radar?
Well, one strategy that can be really helpful for those healthcare expenses is utilizing a health savings account or an HSA.
Yeah, HSAs. Those are great if you have a high deductible health plan, right?
They are. HSAs offer a triple tax advantage. Contributions are tax deductible. The money grows tax-free. And withdrawals for those qualified medical expenses are also tax-free.
Okay, so it's like a secret weapon against those ever-rising healthcare costs.
Exactly. And for those of you with investments, there's a strategy called tax loss harvesting, which can help you offset capital gains and potentially lower your tax liability.
So it's like turning those investment lemons into lemonade tax-wise.
Precisely. It involves selling losing investments to offset the gains that you've made elsewhere. It's a bit more advanced, but it can be a really valuable tool for managing your tax burden, especially if you have significant capital gains.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from those budgeting basics to some more advanced tax-saving strategies. What are some key takeaways that you'd like our listeners to remember as they kind of navigate this world of personal finance?
I think the most important message is that financial well-being is within everyone's reach. It starts with taking control of your finances, being proactive, and making informed decisions that align with your goals.
So it's about empowerment, not intimidation.
Absolutely. And remember, personal finance, it's a journey, not a destination. There will be ups and downs along the way. But with a little knowledge and a little effort, you can achieve your financial goals and create a brighter future for yourself and your loved ones.
I love that. All right, so before we move on to the next part of our deep dive, any final words of wisdom to leave our listeners with?
Yes, I would say, don't get overwhelmed by the complexities of personal finance. Focus on those basics. Stay informed. And most importantly, don't be afraid to ask for help. There are so many resources out there, from financial advisors to online tools, even podcasts like this one. We're here to help guide you on your journey and make those complex topics a little less daunting.
Exactly. There's a whole community out there ready to support you. Now, we've talked a lot about, those proactive strategies, like utilizing tax credits and making smart investments. But what about those like unexpected financial hurdles that life throws our way? How can people prepare for those rainy days?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Life is full of surprises, and it's so important to have a plan in place to weather those financial storms. That's where those emergency funds come in.
Right. We touched on this a little bit earlier, but it's worth emphasizing. Having that cushion of savings to cover those unexpected expenses can be a real lifesaver.
Absolutely. It not only provides financial security, but also just peace of mind. Knowing you have that safety net can help you make clearer decisions when you're faced with those unexpected challenges.
So how much should people aim to save in their emergency fund?
A good rule of thumb is to have about 3 to 6 months worth of essential living expenses set aside. This should cover things like your rent or your mortgage payments, groceries, utilities, transportation.
Okay, that sounds like a reasonable target.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine it can be really difficult for some people to save that much, especially if they're living paycheck to paycheck. Do you have any advice for those who might be struggling to build that emergency fund?
Absolutely. Start small, even setting aside like $20 or $50 a week. It can really add up over time. The key is to make it a habit, just like brushing your teeth or paying your bills.
It's all about consistency, those small steps.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to get creative. Look for ways to cut back on unnecessary expenses or find ways to earn some extra income. Every little bit helps.
All right, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about one of the most important and often most intimidating aspects of personal finance, retirement planning. It can feel like such a distant concept, but the sooner we start planning, the better off we'll be, right?
Absolutely. The magic of compounding, it really works best when you start early. Even small contributions made consistently over time can grow into a significant nest egg.
So what are some key things that people should consider when it comes to retirement planning?
Well, first, it's crucial to understand the different types of retirement accounts that are available. We've mentioned 401ks and IRAs before, but it's important to understand, the nuances of each.
Right, like the contribution limits,
Yeah.
tax benefits, withdrawal rules. Those can all vary depending on the type of account.
Exactly. For example, 401ks. They're typically offered through employers and often come with those employer matching contributions. IRAs, on the other hand, offer more investment flexibility, but they have lower contribution limits.
Okay, so it's important to consider your individual circumstances and choose the accounts that really align with your goals and your risk tolerance.
Precisely. And don't underestimate the power of professional guidance. A financial advisor can help you navigate the complexities of retirement planning, create a personalized plan, and ensure you're on track to meet your goals.
Yeah, it's like having a personal trainer for your finances. They can help you stay motivated, make adjustments as needed, and avoid those common pitfalls.
That's a great analogy. Now, beyond retirement planning, let's talk about another important aspect of financial well-being: investing.
Ooh, investing. It can feel like a whole other world,
Uh-huh.
especially for those who are new to it.
It can be intimidating at first, but it doesn't have to be. The key is to start with the basics. Educate yourself and invest according to your risk tolerance and time horizon.
So where should people begin if they're interested in, exploring investment opportunities?
Well, there are tons of resources available, from online platforms to financial advisors. A good starting point is to learn about different asset classes, like stocks, bonds, real estate.
Right. Understanding how those different asset classes perform in different market conditions can really help you make more informed decisions.
Exactly. And diversification is key. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread your investments across different asset classes to manage risk and potentially maximize returns.
So it's like building a well-balanced portfolio that can withstand those market fluctuations.
That's a great way to put it. And remember, investing is a long-term game. Don't get caught up in the short-term market noise. Focus on your long-term goals and stay the course.
Patience and discipline.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to seek guidance from, those experienced investors or financial professionals. They can provide valuable insights and help you navigate that often complex world of investing.
Now, we've discussed a wide range of financial topics in this deep dive, from tax strategies to retirement planning and investing. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to a fundamental concept that really underpins all of these areas: financial literacy.
You're absolutely right. Financial literacy is the foundation of a healthy financial life.
So what are some key steps that people can take to enhance their financial literacy and feel more empowered to manage their money?
First and foremost, embrace a mindset of continuous learning. There are countless resources available, from books and articles to online courses and podcasts like ours. Take advantage of those resources and make it a habit to stay informed about those financial matters.
Right. It's like staying in shape physically.
Yeah.
You need to exercise those financial muscles regularly to stay financially fit.
I love that analogy. And don't be afraid to ask questions if you don't understand something. Ask for clarification. There's no shame in seeking knowledge. In fact, it's the smartest thing you can do.
Exactly. And remember, financial literacy, it's not just about understanding those complex financial concepts. It's about developing good financial habits, making informed decisions, and feeling confident in your ability to manage your money effectively.
Well said. It's about taking control of your financial well-being and creating a brighter future for yourself and your loved ones.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from proactive tax planning to building emergency funds, navigating retirement planning, and even dipping our toes into that world of investing. Before we move on to our final thoughts, any key takeaways you want to emphasize for our listeners?
I think the most important message is that financial well-being is a journey, not a destination. It's about making conscious choices, developing those good habits, and staying informed. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. There are resources available to support you every step of the way.
I love that. So let's shift gears to our final thoughts. What's one piece of advice that you would offer listeners as they continue on their financial journeys?
I would say this: don't let fear or intimidation hold you back. Sometimes the world of personal finance can feel overwhelming with all the jargon and the complex strategies. But remember, it's all about taking small, manageable steps and building on those successes.
So it's not about becoming a financial expert overnight. It's about, making gradual progress and building confidence along the way.
Exactly. Focus on what you can control: your spending habits, your savings goals, your commitment to learning and growing. Even small adjustments can have a ripple effect over time.
It's like that snowball analogy we were talking about earlier.
Mm.
Start small and watch that snowball gather momentum as it rolls downhill.
Precisely. And remember, it's never too late to start. Whether you're just beginning your financial journey or
Mhm.
looking to refine your existing strategies, there's always room for improvement and growth.
I love it. So to wrap things up, let's distill all of this incredible information into a few actionable takeaways for our listeners. What's one concrete step they can take today to move closer to their financial goals?
That's a great question. I would say take a few minutes to just reflect on your financial goals. What are you saving for retirement? A down payment on a house, your children's education. Once you have a clear vision of where you want to go, you can start mapping out a plan to get there.
It's like setting a destination on your GPS. You need to know where you're headed before you can chart the best course.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to break down those big goals into smaller, more manageable milestones. This can make the journey feel less daunting and more achievable.
So instead of feeling overwhelmed by the thought of saving, hundreds of thousands of dollars for retirement, focus on setting a smaller goal, like increasing your 401k contributions by 1% this year.
Exactly. Small changes can add up to big results over time. And don't forget to celebrate those milestones along the way. Acknowledging your progress can help you stay motivated and on track.
It's like rewarding yourself for those small victories. It helps reinforce those positive financial habits.
Absolutely. And remember, personal finance is a journey, not a race. There will be times when you face setbacks or make mistakes. The key is to learn from those experiences, adjust your course, and keep moving forward.
Resilience and adaptability are essential traits for anyone navigating the world of personal finance.
Well said. And one final thought I want to leave our listeners with is this: don't be afraid to seek help when you need it. There are countless resources available, from financial advisors to online tools and even podcasts like this one.
We're all in this together. There's a whole community of people who have been where you are and are ready to offer support and guidance.
Exactly. So don't be afraid to reach out, ask questions, and learn from others.
Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of personal finance. We've covered a lot of ground today, from understanding tax changes to developing smart saving strategies and embracing the importance of financial literacy.
It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you.
We hope you found this journey informative and empowering. Remember, taking control of your finances is one of the most important investments you can make in yourself and your future.
Absolutely. And as we always say, knowledge is power. The more you learn about personal finance, the more confident and capable you'll become in managing your money and achieving your financial goals.
Well said. Until next time, happy saving, everyone.